Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages and makes and peoples and tribes, it's time for the Coon Prairie Ramblers. We're circling up the wagons now. No, that's wrong.
What's wrong with that?
Yes, go ahead. Keep it.
Oh, okay. This is Mailman, and here to confabulate with me is KC and the Moonshine Gang.
Greetings and hallucinations.
And off to his left and my right, or actually in front of me, is Luke, the rebel without a clue.
Let's head them up and move them out.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Hooden.
I left that up to the coffee this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We've got a world famous holiday. We've got a beautiful holiday coming up, made just for us guys.
This weekend.
Yeah.
You're hearing it on the weekend, so yes.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It is Father's Day.
This next weekend.
The only thing, you don't get a day off when you have Father's Day, though. Or do you?
You do, unless you're a preacher.
It's usually on Sunday.
Do you get a Monday off?
It's on Sunday.
If you're a pastor, you do.
That's not a national holiday, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, pastors normally take Mondays off.
They need them.
Yeah, because they work all day on the Christian Sabbath. But anyway, it's Father's Day. I know you guys had a father.
I'm afraid so, or we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and
I'm guessing you had one too.
I had one for a short period of time. I knew him from the age of 5 to the age of 10.
Well, tell us about it.
Way back yonder, when I was conceived, they saw fit to not hang around together, so they got a divorce, and I was born to a destitute mother. And she left me in the hospital. I told KC about this.
Left you in the hospital?
I was left in the hospital for a year until they could figure out what to do with me.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Well, they worked out a deal with my mom because she was poor, and they said, if you leave little baby Melvin here, and we'll take care of him. And the nurses were practiced on me. I don't know what they practiced. Voodoo.
That explains a lot.
or what they did. I don't know. Like not sticking me with the diaper pin, and because they used real diapers back in those days, not those
I remember
plastic things. We had the good stuff. But anyway, later on, when I was 5 years old, my big brother came to me. He says, Mel. He said, Mel, man, your dad's coming. Your dad's in town. And I said, what's a dad? Well, I was only 5,
Wow.
But anyway, and then at the age of 10, he left. So they were divorced and remarried and then divorced again. So I didn't see him all through my teen years, and I didn't see him until just before he died, a year before he died. And he died in a house fire.
That's unfortunate.
Fortunately, but when he did come back, he was kind of broken. Body was beat down. He loved a lot, drank a lot, worked hard a lot, and he just wore himself out. When he came back to where we lived, my mom wouldn't let him move back in with her. She said, no, we ain't going to go through that again. Yeah. But he came back a different man, and he befriended my little brother. My little brother wasn't his son, and my little brother was a little bit on the lower IQ side. And Dad came back, and they hit it off, and he befriended him, and my little brother went and moved in with him for a little bit in the farmhouse he lived up in northern Ohio. And then shortly after that, the stove, the old potbelly stove caught fire, or it blew up, metal fatigue.
Yes.
They overheat them things in the wintertime sometimes, and sometimes they blow up.
That's it.
He jumped out of bed and tried to make it to the back door and got overtaken by the smoke inhalation.
Goodness.
Oh, that's a bad way to go.
Yeah. But you know what?
How about your little brother?
Well, he wasn't there. He was at our house at the time, and he missed out on that. I remember being at the funeral home, and I was standing there looking at my dad, and he's looking kind of odd.
Well,
and the mortician was off to the side, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye he was wanting to come over and talk to me, but he was giving me time, So I motioned to him, and he came over, and he said, Mr. Jackson, we're sorry about your dad. We tried to clean him up as best we could. I said, clean him up. He said, yeah. He says, the smoke, he says, he got down into crevices of his skin, and he was looking kind of tinged or singed. Ashened, yeah. And I was thinking, well, he was a mechanic, and he had these deep grooves in his skin, and he always had a little bit of dirt on his hands, and his arm. He was always kind of grungy looking.
So he looked kind of natural?
Yeah, kind of natural.
There you go, then.
Anyway, but I was standing there looking at him, and I said, Dad, You know, I was there. Mom and Jean, my sister, was talking about you the other day and saying you just barely made it. You just barely escaped the flames of hell. And I'm thinking, you're looking like it. Look like you got singed.
Oh, dear. We'll show up in heaven smelling like smoke.
Yeah. But anyway.
Tail on fire.
KC and I a little while ago, we was talking about that, and about I guess you would call it a dysfunctional family. A lot of people come from dysfunctional families. I think we live in a dysfunctional world.
Those can be the more fun ones.
Yeah.
Y'all put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Yeah, put the fun in this one.
Yeah, there was some fun there. But anyway,
Well,
all in all, I love my dad.
What were the 5 years like that you had with him from 5
Oh, it was rough. It was hell.
and that caused you to write
Well,
a
that's
book.
that's
about
hell.
this
Run
place.
away. I ran away from him.
My little run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people, most kids, I think, sometime in their life have thought about running away.
Yeah.
But I mean, you really had a more of a motivation for it. I mean, we would usually just because some stupid little thing where we got
Get mad and
chastised for something, and we'd want to run away and get to the corner of the yard and try to come
I'm
back.
tired of making it my bed. I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
Well, there's sort of a
I'm gonna live in the
fantasy about it. We.
Well, it's a wanderlust.
Yeah.
I think we all,
Yeah.
not all, but
Right.
most of us have somewhat of a wanderlust. It's stronger in others.
Yeah, and if you have a reason to do it, it'll be even stronger.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's more lustier.
So what age were you when you hit the
year-
road?
9 years old. I hit the road, Jack, at 9.
And how long were you gone?
Well, I never went back home. I
Really?
ended up going to my aunt's house. And the funny thing is, we were living on a farm, and I ran away. My dad was drunk, and he was going to go out to plow some fields or disc or something. And he said, when I come back, he promised me a spanking when I was coming back because there was this big, long sidewalk, and I had this task of pulling all the weeds out of the sidewalk. And that was the longest. At a 9-year-old boy, that was a real long sidewalk. And I'm thinking, I'm calculating my mind. He's coming back at 5. I don't think I'm going to make it. So I think I'm going to get a whipping. So I think I better grab my sister's bike and get out of here.
You got a good head start.
Oh, so you ran away on a girl's bike. You didn't run away. You rode away.
He pedaled
Yeah.
away. He's a pedal.
I didn't have a bike. I never had a bike of my own, but I had to. And my sister, she had gone off. She ran away too. She went off and got married.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah, she got married when she was 15.
Well, how far away did your aunt live? She went like on the next block or something.
Oh, 35, 40 miles away. It was
You rode
across
a
the
bike
side.
that far?
Yeah,
When you 9?
yeah.
A girl's bike.
And up and down. It was in southern Ohio.
You ride at
You,
night
you,
from
you
the
got to, you're
trees.
kind of fixed on this girl's bike, KC. I can see.
That's right.
Well,
But we grew up not riding girls' bikes.
Yeah, it was
Think
not
about
a-
riding
you know,
girls' bikes.
we tried not to.
I was just being pragmatic. I'm thinking, well, you know what? It really doesn't matter. Let's just get out of here.
I would ride at night so nobody would see me.
Yeah.
Was it like
Well, I rode real fast so they couldn't see me.
There you go.
was
I
it
was-
like highways or
You see the
backcountry
pink
woods
tassels
or
hanging on the
Both.
road?
Yeah, through the town of Bainbridge, Ohio, where I went to school in the second grade. I guess I was in second grade. I'm not. Anyway, one of those grades.
At 9, you were in second grade.
No, wait, no, I didn't
And
figure
what
it
were you saying
out.
about your brother a while ago?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, he was before.
Yeah, exactly. Holy moly!
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I went up and down hills to southern Ohio, and it was because it was up and down. It was 30-some 5 miles, I guess.
More fun going down.
There's a guy I wrote about that in my book, and there's a guy in town, and he bought the book, and he said, "You know what? I followed you on the internet." He says, because you left enough landmark, and in the book that he said I was able to follow you across the southern Ohio.
Stalker.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean talk as he read the book? He actually.
Yeah. He
mapping it
Googled
out.
it,
Yeah.
Mapple,
that's
Google,
interesting.
Google Map,
Google Maps.
Google Map, yeah.
Ah,
And
there's a fan out there.
so I ended up, okay, we lived on a farm. I ran away from that farm. Well, my dad was a tenant farmer. I guess it was. We were allowed to live on the farm because he worked the farm.
Sharecropper.
Oh, yeah. So
or what sharecropper?
I wasn't sure. What's the difference between a sharecropper and a tenant farmer?
A tenant farmer lives on the land and keeps everything for what he does.
Well, that's
A
what
caretaker, like a
Gets up certain, like 50-50
Oh,
or something.
okay.
You get
right.
Well, we were,
you
yeah.
grow 100 watermelon, I get 50. You get
Yeah.
50.
Okay. Something like
You
that.
do all the work.
Anyway, I ran away from that farm, but then cow, the family cow, or the farm, the milk cow got out on the railroad track and got hit, and my dad got blamed for it, so he got kicked off the farm. So I'm living with my aunt. That's where I ran away to, way across down the other side of Ohio, and one day I'm out there throwing rocks across the road, and I look down the road, and I see this old car pulling a trailer, and here comes my mom, my dad, and my brothers. They moved in with me.
I'll teach you. Well, we're about out of time for this segment. We're going to come back and talk about KC's dad and whatever he wants to talk about in just a minute. So y'all hold your horses. We'll be right back.